Good evening, everyone, or should I say good afternoon, because we're about to go and pray the afternoon prayer. It's found in this red siddur called the Lev Shalem Siddur on page 289. Page 289, and that's where we find Mincha, the afternoon prayer. And we thank Mitch Cohen for leading us in Mincha, which is just going to be just a few minutes. And what he really did was to prepare Shosh for her Bat Mitzvah, which took a little bit longer than just a few minutes, but not so much more, because Shosh is like incredibly talented and really came very well prepared. We're going to go ahead and continue at this time, page 289 with Mincha.
Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yehallelucha Selah. Ashrei Ham Shekakalo Hashem Avi. Chut Echama Chut Kol Amim Meshaveh Tzadik Adonai B'chol Derecha Tehilat Adonai Yadaber Pi Vivarech Kol Basar Shem Kodsho Le'olam Va'ed Va'anachnu Nevrech Yavit HaMe'olam. Hallelujah.
We turn to page 290, where we'll do the Chatzi Kaddish. Actually, Mitch will lead us in Chatzi Kaddish, and we will join together on page 291, continuing together through the end of Kedusha on page 293. We're welcome to rise at this time.
Yikidal v'yikidash shemei rabba v'yamad evrar krutei v'yamlech malchutei b'chayechonu v'mechonu v'chayedecho beit Yisrael v'agalav v'zman kri v'imru Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mavarach l'olam alomei almaya Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yidadar v'yileh v'lol shmei dekudasha Brechu le'ela min kol b'chata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata damiran v'yama v'yimru Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Nara El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot Umevi Goel Livnei v'Nehem L'man Shmo b'Hava Melech Ozer Ufokedu Moshia Umagein Baruch Atah Adonai Magein Avraham Ufoked Sarah Atah Gibor Li'olam Adonai Mechayei Meitim Atah Rav L'Hoshia Moed Atah Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed Mechayei Meitim B'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rafei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umkayem Emunato L'Shenei Afar Mi chamocha ba'al gevurot u'midum elach Melech ne'minum chayem atzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah l'hachayot meitim Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei ha'meitim Nekadesh et shemcha ba'olam Keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom Kakatuv al yad neviyecha V'karazeh el zeh v'yamar Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzavaot, Melech ha'aretz kevodo, L'umatam Baruch Yomeru. Baruch Adonai, Baruch Kavod Adonai Mim Kamov, Divrei Kodshecha Katuv Le'mor. Yimloch Adonai Li'olam ha'iksi l'dor v'ador, Hallelujah. L'dor v'ador nagigod lecha oneset mesachim, kedushatcha naqdish, v'shivchacha Eloheinu pili yamush le'olam va'ed, ki al melech gadol v'kadosh atah baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. Page 294.
We'll continue on page 299, kind of the second paragraph with Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol ed u'b'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam.
Beautiful. We continue with Kaddish Shalem, page 300.
Yikadav Yikadav Shemei Rabba
Amen.
Yamad Evrak Rute V'yam Lich Malchute B'chai Chonov Mechonov Chai Yidchol Beit Yisrael Bagalav Zman Karim V'yimru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba Mavarach Le'olam Alomei Almaya Yiparach V'yishtabach V'yitpar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yidadar V'yileb L'al Shmei D'Kudesha Le'ela Min Kol Berchata V'shirata Tush B'chata V'nechamata Damiran B'yalma V'yimru Amen Tikabal Slot Tahon V'utahon D'chol Yisrael Kodam V'hon Divishmaya V'yimru Amen Yehei Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimru Imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Yaseh Shalom Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'yimaru Amen.
Aleinu, page 301.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu kegoye haratzot velo samanu kemishbechot hadama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechohamonam va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim Lifnei melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shamayim al kein nekavel Kakatuv b'toratecha Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad.
We may be seated. In just a moment, we'll continue with Mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 302. Before we do, remember those who have yard sites on this Friday. Hella Benedict, Nellie Brand, Catherine Fogel, Grace Fogel, Regina Offman, James Percival, Marcus Sitzman, and Saul Blatt. We also, of course, remember the passing this week of Ned Leibowitz, and we're joined here by his family, and we send love and wish comfort for you and your whole family. And we also, at this time, as Shosh is about to come and lead us in Kabbalat Shabbat in just a few moments, want to also remember Frank Abes and Teddy Feldman. We continue now with Mourner's Kaddish on page 302. Page 302. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah B'alma tivrach erutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon v'mechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'galav v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam almei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Dekudisha Richu La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechmata damiran b'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. For all those that we mentioned, zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, and may all who mourn find comfort. So in just a moment, Shosh is going to be continuing with Kabbalat Shabbat. And I just want to kind of pause here. We'll start with it in just a moment here. And are you all doing Yedid Nefesh? You're starting Earth that. So in just a moment, we'll begin on page 10. Before we do, Shosh, I just want to talk just for a few moments about Kabbalat Shabbat, just a few more, like an hour or so, and then we'll let you begin. So, what is Kabbalat Shabbat about? So, Kabbalat Shabbat is really an incredible time, actually, and I'll speak more about this after Kabbalat Shabbat as well. But before we begin, it's a liminal moment. It's a time between. Obviously, it's a time between the regular week and Shabbat. It's Kabbalat Shabbat. It's receiving Shabbat. It's taking some time to stop and breathe after a week, to get ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually prepared for Shabbat. But it's more than that, because it's also a time of transition, and here there's a big transition. When we think, Shosh, of, these many years that you've worked, and now you're entering Shabbat. You're having your Bat Mitzvah. This is the beginning of the Bat Mitzvah, beginning of celebration. And it's good to pause. It's good to take a breath. Or in this case, it's good to sing. How do Jews deal with liminal moments? We sing, right? In some ways, even later on, we'll mention about the Mourner's Kaddish. Right? We also sing that, right? But here, we come in celebration and we sing kind of, it's like a graduation, really, between all this work that for many years you've done all this work, and now you're entering into Shabbat. You're entering into your Bat Mitzvah and entering into kind of a new stage. And then after Shabbat, then you'll continue, right? Because there's wonderful learning to do, and in some ways you'll just start again. No one tells you that, right? Your Bat Mitzvah is actually kind of the beginning. It's like Shabbat, actually, right? Where you had all this work before, and then there's Shabbat, and then, you go into a new cycle. And you're like right on the cusp of entering into Shabbat and enjoying the Shabbat, and then on the other side, you'll have had your Bat Mitzvah. And that means you're ready to begin on day one, right? You're just going to start. And but then you just do 6 days and then that's it. No, you'll have like many cycles, actually. And it's interesting in life. This one, we celebrate in a big way, but the truth is actually there are many, many cycles in life that we go, and we have many cycles. And here's one that's particularly joyous, and so we're going to pause and going to celebrate and going to sing and mark that this week of work for you is ending, and it's a celebration of who you are, and you're an incredible person. We'll get to speak more about how awesome Shosh is tomorrow, but you'll get a little taste tonight. This is what Kabbalat Shabbat is. It's just a taste. It's like a taste entering into Shabbat. Just a little bit of a taste. And then tomorrow, please come and you'll hear the incredible Torah of Shosh. And also, she'll read from the Torah and some Haftorah too, I think, right? And do some davening also. But here it's just a taste tonight. A taste as we take a moment to breathe, to enjoy, to celebrate as we enter into your Bat Mitzvah. And we wish you, Shosh, a tremendous Mazel Tov. And we're thrilled to be here with you this evening, entering with you into Kabbalat Shabbat, page 10.
Yedid nefesh av harachaman meshuchav tach el retzonach yarutz avtach kemo hayam yishtachaveh muhatar
Page 11. Page 12. Toward the bottom.
Im shana akut bedor ve'omeram te'ei levavhem ve'hem lo yadu drachai asher nishbati be'afi im yavunun el menuchati.
Page 13.
Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai baruch shemo, bashru yom le'yom yeshuato.
Page 14.
Yismachu hashamayim v'tagel ha'aretz, yiram hayamu melo, yelo sadai v'chol asher bo, az yiranenu kol hatzeyar, lifnei Adonai kiva, kiva lishbot ha'aretz, yishbot tevel besedek, ve'amim be'emunato.
Page 15.
Adonai malach tagel haaretz, yismechu hayam rabim, anan v'arafel svivav, tzedek u'mishpat mechon kiso. Ohavei Adonai sino hara, shomer nifshot chasidav, miyad risha'im yatzilem, or zaru ala tzadik, u'shnei lev simcha, simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, ve'hodot v'k'yesho.
Page 17.
Mizmor shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, ki niflot ta'asa, Hoshea lo yimlicho, uzroa kadsho. Yachad Harim Yiranenu Lifnei Adonai Kiva Lishpot Haaretz Yishpot Tevel Besedek Ve'amim B'Mesharim.
Page 19.
Adonai Malach Yirgzo Amim Yoshem Keruvim Tenu Ta'aretz Adonai B'Tzion Gadol Ve'ramhu Al Kol Ha'amim. Adonai Eloheinu atan itam el nosei hayita lahem venokem al halilotam romhemu Adonai Eloheinu ishmechavu ahar kadsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
We rise, page 21.
Mizmor leDavid havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim havu l'Adonai kevod va'os havu l'Adonai kevod shemo ishtachavu l'Adonai b'harat kodesh kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim Adonai Mayim Rabim Kol Adonai B'Koach Kol Adonai B'Hadar Kol Adonai Shover Arazim Yikibaber Adonai Et Arzei Hamanon Yair Kidehem Kemo Egel Levanon Sirion Kemo Ven Re'amim Kol Adonai Kotev La'otesh Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh Kol Adonai Yachol Et Ayalot Vayechesov Ye'arot Uvechesov Glory Kavod Kulo Omer Kavod Adonai Lama Buyashav Vayeshev Adonai Melech Leolam Adonai Oz Le'am Lo Yitin Adonai Yevarech Et Amo V'Shalom.
We may be seated. We continue on page 23 with Lachadodi.
Chadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Lechadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha ishmi'anu Elam miuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad Shem u'tiferet ve'letila Lechadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki hi mekor ha'meracha Leilush mikelev nesucha Sof ma'aseh v'machshav tehila Lechadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Mikdash melech yir melucha Kumi tzei mitoch ha'hafecha
Rav lach shevet b'emek habacha Hu yachamol alaychem la Lechadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Itnari me'afar kumi livshi bigdei Tifartecha mi'ayat ben Yishai beit halachmi
קרבה נפשי קלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי האור קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני, עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לא תששי ולא תנעמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי, בך יחסו עלי עמי ונבנתה עיר עתילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ויהיו למשיסה שוסייך ורחקו כבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהיך, כי משוש חתן על כלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ביד אדוני, תעריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ומשמחה ונגילה.
We rise.
לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בלגן בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We may be seated. We'll pause here as we turn to page 26. We mentioned about Kabbalat Shabbat is a time of transition, and here we're excited, so excited to celebrate with you, Shosh, and your family. And at the same time, we're also aware that that here we have the family of Ned Leibowitz, and it's also a tremendous time of transition. And again, we wish you tremendous comfort during this time. One cycle to the next, but this period in between can be hard, and it's important to know that we're here for you. And so I'll ask if folks would like to rise at this time and turn toward the family on page 26. This is something that we've said throughout the generations to those who are in mourning. We've said this phrase in our hope that they will know that they are not alone. Lo tov he'ot ha'adam levado. It's not good for a person to be alone, and we don't want you to ever feel alone, that we're here for you. And so please rise at this time. We can turn toward the family. And in Hebrew it's Hamakom yenachem etchem betoch shar avele Tzion v'Yerushalayim. And in English on the left side by Aleph, may the divine comfort you along with all the other mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And we say, Amen. We may be seated. We continue now on page 27 as we more fully enter into this Shabbat day with the Psalm of Shabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
Page 28.
Sadik katamar yifrach yifrach, sadik katamar yifrach, sadik katamar yifrach yifrach, sadik katamar yifrach. Keretz balvanoniske, keretz balvanoniske, keretz balvanoniske yiske. Keretz balvanoniske, keretz balvanoniske, keretz balvanoniske yiske. Sadik katamar yifrach yifrach, sadik katamar yifrach, sadik katamar yifrach yifrach, sadik katamar yifrach. Keretz balvanoniske, keretz balvanoniske, keretz balvanoniske yiske. Keretz balvanoniske, keretz balvanoniske, keretz balvanoniske yiske. Adonai melech geut lavesh.
Page 29.
Mikolot ma'im, ma'im rabim adirim, mishareyam, adim marom, Adonai, induteyam, ne'emru, levitzkat na'av hakodesh, Adonai, le'orech yamim.
Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, is found on page 30. Yit Gadal, V'yit Gadash, Shemei Rabbah, Yamad, Yivrach, Yeretev, Yamlich Malchutei, B'chayechon, V'yimechon, V'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala, V'izman Kari, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach, Le'olam Almei Almaya, Yit Barach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitale, V'yithalal, Shemei Dekudisha, B'richu, La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, tamiran bi'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Aseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. We continue now, page 39a. And Yasher Koach Shosh, beautiful Kabbalat Shabbat. Mr. Alan Weiner is going to lead us in the Baruchu on page 39a, and we're welcome to rise as we prepare ourselves for the call to worship. Please rise.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Vaed.
We may be seated. We can read in English on the left side of the page, the middle of the page. Baruch Atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their place in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness before light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzvaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch Atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim.
We read the prayer about transitions, about going from one time to the next. And now we read on page 40 about God's love. Avat Olam.
Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu, v'hem negeh yomam b'layla, v'avatcha al tasir mimenu li'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen. The Shema, page 41.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha b'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'vlechtecha b'derech u'v'shabecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam liot al yadecha b'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha u'v'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'sharecha.
Page 42.
Please join me in the last paragraph. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael, v'amarta alehem, v'asu lahem tzitzit, al kanfei b'gdeihem ledorotam, v'natnu al tzitzit hakana patil techelet, v'haya lachem letzitzit, Uritem oto, uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai, v'asitem otam, v'lo taturu, acharei levavchem, v'acharei nechem, asher etem zonim achareihem. Leman tizkaru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim leloechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
Page 43a. Page 44.
Umalchuto baratzon kiblu aleihem, Moshe Miriam of Israel lechanu shira, b'simcha rabba v'amru chulam. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nohora tehilot, o sefelet. Malchut charo vanecha, bokeam lifnei Moshe, zeli anu v'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
On page 45 on the left side, we read together, Allow us, Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over and deliver us, and you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Ushmor tzeitzenu bo'enu l'chaim u'shalom yata v'yad olam ufros aleinu sukkot sukkot shlomecha ufros aleinu sukkot sukkot shlomecha Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
We rise, page 46 for Vishamru.
Bishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Lasod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, od hili olam, od hili olam, od hili olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Lasod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah B'yamad ivra kirutei B'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael Bagala bagala u'vizman kariv V'yimeru amen Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olam me'omaya yitbarach v'yishtavach v'yitpa v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yoma v'yimeru. Amen.
In just a moment, we'll continue quietly on page 47 with the Amidah. Before we do, it's important to sometimes take advantage of the gifts that God gives us. Just sometimes moments, and they're precious moments, and they're here, and then they're gone the next. I just want to point out how beautiful, of course, always our sanctuary is beautiful up here with the stained glass, but if you look in the back here, you can see all these just gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful colors of the rainbow, and it can remind us as well as the beautiful rainbow on Shosh's tallis, and how we're here we're in this life, and we get this beauty, and we get to celebrate it while it's here. And we can be grateful for that. We continue on page 47 with the Amidah. We can continue at this time on page 53 with Vayachulu.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון קונה שמיים וארץ מגן אבות בדברו מחיי מתים במאמרו האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו כי בם רצה להניח להם כי בם רצה להניח להם לפניו נעבוד ביראה ופחד ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד מעון הברכות אל ההודעות אדון השלום מקדש השבת ומברך שביעי ומניח בקדושה ליעמדו שני עונג זכר למעשה בראשית אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו רצה במנוחתנו קדשנו במצוותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך סבנו מטובך ושמחנו בישועתך v'tahir libeinu li'avdecha b'emet v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha v'anuchu v'Yisrael mekadeshei shemecha Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. Kaddish Shalom. We may be seated, page 54.
Yikara v'yikara shmei rabbah b'yoma divra kirutei v'yamlik malchutei v'chayeichon v'yimeichon v'chayidecho beit Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kariv imru Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'me'al maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yidalal shmei dekudusha b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata damiram b'yalma v'yimru Amen. Titkabal tzloton v'auton d'cho Yisrael kodam avon d'vishmaya v'yimru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Ohoseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru imru Amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru Amen.
Yasha Koch. Beautiful. Now, Kiddush is on page 55, and we're welcome to rise for Kiddush. Shosh and Benjamin lead us in Kiddush. Wonderful to have siblings. I'd say Shevet Achim Gam Yachad, but we actually want them to stand together rather than sit.
All right.
Savri Chavarai V'Chavartai
Chayim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon yinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrahei kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Beautiful. What was it? Grape juice or wine? Whatever it was. Yeah. All right, we continue now with Aleinu on page 56. Yashikach, Benjamin.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol latet gedula liotzer breishi shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot velo samanu kemishbechot hadam shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam ve'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim Lifnei melech malchei amachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notze shamayim ve'osed haaretz umoshav yikaro b'shamayim imal ushchinatu zo v'gavei meromim hu Eloheinu eino וזולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום, וידעת היום, והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים עמהו, ועל הארץ מתחת עינו.
Page 57. Oh, okay. And the Kabbalat Shabbat.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
We may be seated. We continue on page 59 with the psalm for the season.
Lulehem anti l'robetuv Adonai be'eretz chayim, kaveh el Adonai, chazak v'yametz libecha, v'kaveh el Adonai.
Yasher Koach, Alan. Beautiful davening. And Yasher Koach to Shosh and to Mitch and to Benjamin. And in a moment we're going to recite Mourner's Kaddish. It's found on page 58. Before we do, we remember those whose yard sites occurred this Shabbat. Sadie Cohen, Ronald Grinker, Bertha Hattenbach, Leona Palmer, and Bonnie Wackler. We also, of course, remember Ned Leibowitz and also Frank Abes and Teddy Feldman. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 58. Page 58, Mourner's Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit gadash shemei rabba v'yalmad yivrach erotei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'mechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael v'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yahei shmei rabba mivarach le'alam al me'almaya yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit ba'ar v'yit romam v'yit nasei v'yit hadar v'yit ale v'yit halal shemei d'kudisha b'richu La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechmata damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemai v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. And for all those that we remembered, Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, and may all who mourn find comfort. Page 62, we conclude our evening service, and again, we want to thank. First, thank you, Live Control, who lets us connect with everyone online, and I want to say for all those family and friends who wanted to be here in person to see Shosh. But weren't able to, we thank you for joining us online for this occasion, and thank you, Live Control, for making that possible. And for everyone in the congregation just joining us online, we appreciate you joining as well. And for everyone coming in person, it really wouldn't be the same without you here. So thank you for being here this evening. And again, many thanks to Mitch and to Shosh and to Mr. Alan Weiner and to Benjamin for leading us in the service today. And we conclude page 62 with Yigdal.
Yigdal Elohim Chai Ve'yishtabach Nimsa ve'ener El Metziuto Echad ben Yachid Ke'yechudo Ne'lam v'gam in sof Le'achduto Ein lo demut haguf Ve'ein no guf Lo na'aroch elav בשעתו, קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון בין ראשית לראשיתו. הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו. לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומביט את אמונתו, תורת אמת נתן לעם בועל, על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו. חליף האל ולא ימיר דתו, לעולמים לזולתו. סופר יודע סתרנו, מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו. גומר לאיש חסד כמפעלו, נותן לרשע רע כרישתו. ישלח לקץ ימין משיחנו, לפתות מחכה קץ ישועתו. מתים יחייהו ברוב חסדו, ברוך הדיית שם תהילתו. מתים יחייהו ברוב חסדו, ברוך הדיית שם תהילתו.
Good Shabbos. Yeah, beautiful.
How'd that feel? Good. All right.
Beautiful, Harmony. Just the beginning. Yashikah. Beautiful Harmony this night. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Mitch. Yashikah. Let me get down to them first.
I want you to take care of it so it doesn't.
I'm taking care of it.